It's Thursday, and welcome to the GameGrin Streamcast. Yay! Our monthly Streamcast episode coming to you live on Twitch. I'm your host, Hamiltonius, and I'm joined by Ace.
Hello.
Cow.
Hello.
Ubidom.
It's my debut.
Dominoid.
Sort of.
Hello.
And Emzy.
Hello, I've never been and MZ before. That's quite exciting.
Yes, last but
And
by no means
featuring
least.
MZ.
No, it doesn't.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a free-for-all today, but we're going to start with the phenomenon that is sweeping the nation and the world. That is
Gangnam
Pokemon
Style.
Go.
Oh,
No,
Digimon
you're
Go.
2 years too late.
shit, my bad.
Go.
So yeah,
You
it's,
Pokemon Go.
it's basically Ingress with Pokemon in, isn't it?
No,
But
it's
yeah,
not, because
who
no one
played-
gives a shit about Ingress.
Who played
Incest?
Ingress?
I did
What?
play Ingress for a very brief period of time, and
30
I
seconds
wasn't
exactly.
of
overly
a brief
interested.
period.
Well, I played for a few days and got bored.
Yeah,
but with
okay,
Pokemon
Ace.
Go, it's kept
Got Pokemon.
It's kept my attention. Yeah, I mean, that is it. It's that collection of, like, as a particularly fat man, it's actually going to do me a lot of good, because the amount of detours I've taken on the way home to go to the gym that's a few hundred yards down the road from my house, or the amount of detours I've taken at work to nip to a Pokestop first, it's just getting little bits of extra exercise that I'd never otherwise got.
I quite like the fact that you can say, "Oh, I'm just going to the gym," and when in fact you're just going to battle some little monster creature things.
Yes.
You're actually going up to the shop,
Technically,
Yeah.
which is actually a
Yeah,
gym.
going to get a Mars
I
bar.
am the
Yeah.
fittest I've ever been in my life, and I've only been playing Pokemon Go for like 4 days. I've been on like 3 walks. 3 walks, folks.
So wait, 3 walks
Like
is the
a
fittest
dog.
you've ever been in your life.
I've
be
played
fair,
for like
that's-
10 minutes.
Go
That's
for a
still
walkie?
fitter than me.
I've walked like 10 miles, guys.
It's all right. I'm just
Yeah.
using an excuse to take the dog out.
I needed
got on
to
the bus.
hatch some eggs.
I just got on a
That's
bus.
lazy.
You got
That's
on a
lazy.
London bus as well, which is cheating even more because
It
it's
goes
traffic.
slow enough to count.
I'm slightly worried, though, in about 3 months' time, we're just going to start seeing loads of stories of an epidemic of dogs dying of exhaustion.
I'm still
I mean,
surprised we haven't seen
someone's
the
already
first
pushed the
Pokemon Go
boundary.
death yet.
Someone's already got pushed the boundary of being lazy with it because he's set up a drone to fly around for him.
That's awesome. Apparently, if there's any kind of movement, it regards it as walking. So I saw a video of somebody that literally just
No.
stuck it on a turntable.
No, it uses
No.
GPS.
It
No,
depends.
it
doesn't-
If you
yeah,
go
it
faster
doesn't
than a
use
certain
movement.
speed, it discounts it.
Yeah, you just
No.
like moonwalk on the spot, don't you? Your little avatar
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he won't, like, walk, but he's moving, so it still hatches eggs.
No, it doesn't. People have tried it on treadmills and stuff like that, and it doesn't work.
Someone's tried it. Put
Why
it
have
on
they
a
been on
toy
a
train.
treadmill? Then why don't they just go for a walk if they're walking on a treadmill?
It does sort of
This
defeat
is
the
a
point,
good
doesn't it?
point.
Because
You
some
can't
people
watch
don't like the
Netflix.
outdoors, Dom.
You can't watch Netflix if you're walking outside.
Yeah, some people need to catch up on Love Island. Yeah, topical.
Put the gin down.
Uh,
There's the
um,
clinking of the ice cubes.
Serious Online Official on the Twitch channel has just pointed out that it does give a we versus them mentality, because
That's Ingress.
it's purely PvE. Oh,
No,
really?
he's
Hmm.
talking about
That's good.
Ingress.
No, he was talking about a.
Oh, I
Bit
see. Right,
Ingress,
so
but
Pokemon
he's
Go
saying-
is we versus them, and
With
Pokemon...
Pokemon Go, you can
Sorry.
choose to be purely against like non-existent things.
Yeah.
essentially.
NPCs.
People can
What
choose to just
is
collect
that?
Pokemon or do
Yeah,
the gyms.
you can be passive and explorational.
Yeah.
That
Well, to be
screenshot you
fair, I
posted on
found-
the Twitch comments is ridiculous. Is that Ingress? That screenshot?
Yes, it is.
That just looks like vomit.
Why didn't
It
anyone
is-
play Ingress? Because it looked like that. It didn't make any visual sense.
Yeah,
It didn't
that was
have
the thing.
bright
It was
little monsters.
just too sort of... it was a great idea that just didn't look great. And yeah, you're quite right. It's far too cluttered, and nobody really quite got the idea of what was going on. Also, as well, I found with Ingress, to get anything out of a node, you have to be stood there for a little while to leech it. Whereas with a Pokestop, you just go there, spin it round, and walk off again. So it's easier to play Pokemon Go on a bus.
I didn't choose Charmander because I didn't realise. Sorry, that made no sense if you're not watching the stream and the chat. So Hamilton just asked what Pokemon did you choose to start with and why is it Charmander? But the problem is that I got so excited that when I saw 2 Pokemon jump up, I was like, oh my god, quick, go, go, go. Didn't realise that was like I could choose any of them. And I just clicked on Squirtle and I really wanted Charmander. But apparently you can get Pikachu. So
If you walk
Yeah,
away,
if you ignore them.
Yeah. I
which
did
is pretty
exactly
brutal.
the same thing. I just sort of saw it, didn't realise there was a starter as a concept, and just went, oh, that one's closest. And I think I ended up with Bulbasaur. And I've never used him in a gym. So,
It's always Charmander.
like all starter Pokemon, he's pointless.
yeah, Sirius is posted again in the Twitch chat saying that it's, and I completely agree that it's done wonders for like people going outside and not just exercising but actually chatting to people. There's been Reddit posts about people cleaning up graffiti together, people catching a suspected murderer apparently. But even
Why? What was
like,
he doing?
God
was he
knows.
just in Team Rocket gear or something?
But even today, like, I went out at lunch to like pretend I had a life and walked to a park nearby my work because it was filled with those Pokestops, and there was also 2 of them had lures on them, which meant there'd be more Pokemon there. And I turned up and I thought, there might be 1 or 2. No, there were about 20 to 30 people milling around with their phones out playing Pokemon Go. And all of them were in their 20s or 30s. There weren't any kids there.
I
That
was
always
saying
made me
to
laugh, yeah.
Kids
I
were
was
at
saying
school.
to Alex earlier that I was thinking about re-downloading Tinder, and then I was like, actually, what's the point? I'll just go to some gyms, meet some people there.
Yeah,
At least I know I'll have something in common with them.
Hmm.
Who
There
needs
was-
dating apps when you've got Pokemon Go?
There was a
Somebody-
news piece, the BBC. Well, I think it was the BBC, but the what they're called, NRSPCC, the one that protects children. I can't remember.
NSPCC.
NSPCC.
That's the one. Yeah, them. They are like having a go at Pokemon and the developers of Ingress, the guys who made it, saying that they don't make clear warnings about the game and the safety of children, in that sex offenders and predators could use it to find children.
Jesus Christ.
And it makes me laugh at the fact that, considering that 90% of the people I know who are playing the game at the moment, even friends I know who have kids, they're like, oh, yeah, my son doesn't have a smartphone. Or, he's 10. Why would he have a smartphone? But all my other friends who are in their 20s are like, oh, yeah,
Well, if he
Pokemon
comes
Go.
into this van, he can have a smartphone.
But aside from anything else, this whole sort of argument that, paedophiles will use Pokemon... No, the whole point of Pokemon Go is taking it into big public areas.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's not a good hiding spot. But also,
It could be one of the most
only
safest
thing
games going.
that they could say that could happen is that, they'll know where an important Pokestop is, and they'll hang around there because they know children will be going there. There are literally millions of places you could go in public where lots of children will go, like parks and schools. So maybe we should start looking at ways to deal with the problem rather than saying, let's avoid all things where children congregate.
Plus the fact, I would imagine that if parents are going to go around...
Ban schools, then. At that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
If
by that
parents-
logic, we should ban schools and playgroups
Yeah,
and parks.
exactly.
To be honest, if you let your kid go outside, wander around at like 11 o'clock at night because they want to
Yeah.
find a Pokemon, then you're a bad parent. You're not. It's not.
Exactly.
Don't blame society.
Well, my parents let me out after dinner.
That's because you're a
But
grown
was
man.
dinner
child.
11 o'clock?
You're a 20-something grown man.
Bless you.
Yes. So
Has
I've
anybody
already got a
seen-
massive collection of Pokemon now, and it's I can't stop. And luckily, well, I say I hate it, but luckily there aren't many Pokemon around my flat. So there's a gym across the road, but other than that, so I can have a bit of a break when I'm at home. But by my work, there's 4 or 5 Pokestops within reach, so I essentially just leave my phone on my desk and continually tap them over the day.
I wonder
Oh,
now
that's
awesome,
if
isn't it?
when you're looking at a house, it'll be part of the estate agent patter now. They'll be like, in short, close distance to several Pokestops and a gym. And this is a renowned location for a Pikachu.
Do you know what is really sad? Is
That
that you
would
say
actually
that.
happen.
On Saturday, I went to view a whole bunch of houses,
No, you
and I
don't.
was checking out
Don't say it.
Pokestops nearby
Don't
while I was
say
there. Like, it wasn't a selling factor, but I
Oh,
got
I bet
really
it was.
excited because kind of like, I'm viewing all of these houses, which means I'm going to be walking all around Bristol, which means I can catch loads of Pokemon.
Oh dear.
I wasn't
Jesus.
excited about I'm going to get a new house. I was more excited about, I might catch a Pikachu. I didn't, but
That's brilliant.
Bless, honestly, brilliant.
have you seen the thing doing the rounds? About it's doing the rounds on Facebook of this is a really sweet story. 2 little girls came up to my door and they knocked on it and they said, "There's a Pikachu in your back garden. Do you mind if we
So
come
I
in and
slammed
get
the
it?"
door in their face and ran and got it.
Yeah,
That one.
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. It's cruel though. There's enough Pikachus to go around.
Yeah,
It
but they have
spawns
to
enough.
learn. They have to learn that life is pain.
Wow. I have I've
Does it
actually
work like that, though?
I've faced a phobia because of Pokemon Go actually, because I have like a massive phobia of slugs, real bad, and I went out for a run to go and catch some Pokemon and go to my. Well, the problem is like around my house is terrible signal, so once I go out of Wi-Fi range, I've got to walk a fair distance where I get any phone signal, so I can't actually get any Pokemon until I get a fair distance away from my house. So I went on a run. I went quite far away, and I had to go down this alley to get to the other side, and it was just covered in slugs, and I was tiptoeing way through it for the sake of Pokemon. Like literally my eyes are welling up with tears. I push through, get to the other side, boom. I'm like the slug queen now. It was horrible.
But that's brilliant, and that's one of the brilliant things. Like, this is kind of showing how gaming can be this huge positive force. We've got people facing fears. We've got people making friends that they wouldn't have otherwise met. I mean, I bet most of us have at least spoken to somebody else at a Pokestop and gone, you're here as well for Pokemon Go. And this could be a really good thing. We've got people that have had depression and agoraphobia that have really struggled to leave their house, going out just to get Pokestops. I just think it's lovely.
It's I mean, it's a strange
It'd be
gathering in this
interesting to
park at
see.
lunchtime talking to another group of 20 and 30-year-olds. I spoke to 2 businessmen in full suits about, one of them was moaning about how the park, whenever he walks by at night at the end, or rather at the end of work, there are loads of Bulbasaurs there, but he was always in too much of a rush, and now he came down at lunch and he can't find any. And he was I think he was in like his late 30s, early 40s.
It's that nostalgia behind it as well. Even if you're much older, like we're about the age when Pokemon was massive, when it was on Game Boy, and you had the TV show and all the trading cards.
Yeah.
But then even then you've got people who, even if like you said they're in the 30s, 40s, but they're going to have memories, because if they've got kids, they're going to remember their kids playing with those, and they're going to remember saying, "Oh, my son used to play Pokemon. I wonder if it's any good."
Well, my mum's downloaded it today, and she wants to go out Pokemon hunting on Saturday, and she's nearly 60.
That's
People love
Cal-
Pokemon.
Cal, the way you phrased that's hilarious. There used to be the cartoon, still running 19 years
Oh,
later.
right.
There used
I
to be the
didn't
trading
know.
cards, that's still running.
I thought
And
my
Ash is
brain.
still 10.
Yeah. Well, so is Bart Simpson. But my memory with Pokemon is like it's like we've said this before with like the new one coming out. There's like 700 of them now. I only remember, barely remember the 150, 151.
Give me enough time, I could probably still name all the original ones.
Okay.
Let's kind of, we start doing that. We all have that conversation, but it makes us sound so old, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Like we're going to be telling this to kids. Deny me, liver. I'm getting Bristolian already. I haven't even moved yet.
You're going to get worse once you've actually moved into Somerset.
So yeah, this is the kind of, I'm thinking there's going to be a point when we're going to have like kids and grandkids, and we're going to be, "Oh, you young'uns, you don't know you've got it good. When I were a lad, it was only 141 Pokemon there were."
151.
When did they add the next 10?
Yeah, you can't get Ditto yet, and I really want Ditto because Ditto is the best Pokemon.
It's Ditto, because it's the Kanto area only.
I think
at the moment,
Gyarados
isn't it,
wants
that
to
they're
work
doing?
with you. And it's to say that it's the best
Mine, there's
Pokemon.
only going to be 151.
I think you're wrong, Alex.
I got
You
overly
didn't talk.
excited.
If I remember right.
I got overly
will do.
excited when I finally caught a Magikarp. Because I know he's like the most useless Pokemon ever, but I just feel for him because he tries so hard.
That
I love
evolved.
Magikarp.
That evolved though.
That's like
400 Magikarp candy.
Best. That's the best evolve
Got a
though.
crunch 400 Magikarp.
To be fair, Gyarados is bloody amazing, so you'd have to really work for it.
Hmm.
But that's going to mean a lot of time spent near water.
See, my girlfriend works by the Thames, so she's continually catching water Pokemon.
Well, I work not too far from Bristol waterside the Hoe, so I'm probably going to have to go sort of spend my lunch breaks at work before I leave Plymouth, just wandering up and down the Hoe and the Barbican, trying to catch Magikarp, because I'm going to be moving to an inner city area and be nowhere near the sea.
Everywhere
People
I've got
that haven't
Pidgeys.
lived in Plymouth get very confused when you say the Hoe, but it is an actual area by the sea
Who is
called
this
the
Hoe?
Hoe. It's
Yeah, so
Plymouth,
that's
Plymouth Hoe.
yeah, that's not a rude thing.
It's literally just called Plymouth Hoe.
I went to see a comedian whose name I can't remember, impressionist Alexander thingy. Sport
know
Jasper
who.
Carrot.
I know who you mean.
And he was talking, and he said, "Yeah, so I got in Plymouth this morning. I had a nice walk up and down the Hoe. They're very accommodating here, aren't they?"
Terrible.
That is pretty bad.
It was Alistair McGowan, that's the one, and I bet it was funnier when he said it.
Probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Staying with Pokemon, you know they've got a new one coming out, Sun and Moon.
Mm.
They've announced 2 new Pokemon coming to it, and one of them's like an imposter of Pikachu. Have you seen that?
No.
It looks pretty badass, to be honest with you. It looks like a cloth, like disguised. His eyes are at the bottom, and then his head is shaped a bit like Pikachu, and it's got crudely drawn Pikachu features on him.
Is it like a...
Bastard Chew.
I hope that it's like some sort of like...
Did you just say bastard chew?
Yeah, is that his
Chew.
name?
Yeah. That's a chew.
I don't know his name.
It's
But
a
he
story
looks-
behind it later. It's just what has science done? They tried to clone a Pikachu and it came out as that mess.
Like in Family Guy
Brutal.
when
And it's
when
called
he
It's
made
Just
Bitch
Kill Me!
Stewie.
My,
I'm
my
gonna
life
try
is
and see
like
if I
a...
can
I
find the
think my
name.
jaw is falling off.
Wow, Pokemon went dark.
Sirius
yeah.
just posted that he named his Pidgeot Bird Jesus and went on full rampage in all gym, but it's now been replaced by a Jolteon called Rufflecopter. So has anybody come up with any interesting names?
My Kingler's called Touchy Tim.
I've named all of my Pokemon Eric, with the exception of what's the black-faced one that's very clearly
Jinx.
female because she's got cleavage. Jinx.
Jinx.
Nicki Minaj.
I named my Jinx Erica
Nicki
because
Minaj.
she's clearly female.
I when I first got it this today, I decided I was going to name all my Pokemon after whatever autocorrect's first option was when I typed in their name.
I just found the name of that Pokemon. It's really cute.
Go on then.
Well, tell
Cool.
us then.
It's called Mimikyu. Mimicyu.
That
Mimichu.
translates into bastard
Mimichu.
Chew from Japanese, I think.
It's a ghost type Pokemon.
It's a ghost.
Yeah.
Was that a
Didn't-
type?
yeah, they
So
had
they
it-
had
yeah.
like leaf type.
Pikachu.
They had a
It's
shitload
so
of different
cute.
things.
I looked this up and I found a Wikipedia entry for a Malaysian-born Hong Kong
Yeah,
actress
you
and
typed
singer
in Mimi
called
Chu, which is
Mimi
exactly
Chu.
what I did. No, it's CYU, not CHU.
Yeah, it's CYU.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely sounds something to mimicking.
Oh my god, that is terrifying.
It's terrifying, but also cute at the same time.
Nah, kill it with fire.
Why is it melting?
I don't know.
It does just look like a badly drawn Pikachu.
I don't understand why it's got
I think
two
that's the purpose
holes
of
on
it.
its. It looks like it's lactating.
Oh.
No, it got
No,
got
that's
shot.
his eyes. That's his
It's the-
eyes.
No,
It's the
not his
ghost
eyes.
of a dead Pikachu.
There's some on his tummy. There's like two black holes.
Yeah, that's
and
his
they-
eye.
But what's his face then?
His face is a crudely drawn Pikachu to mimic
Oh,
him.
Is he-
Oh.
is he modelled
That's
on Brandon
weird.
Lee?
I don't know.
Dominoid, you and your pop culture references.
Oh, damn it. Name someone who got shot more recently then. My jokes are just out of
Wow.
date.
Let's not go down that route.
Has anyone got any
Yes.
more interesting Pokemon anecdotes
Well,
while we're still on the topic?
I'm wondering what faction people have chosen and why
yeah.
it's Valor.
Valor. All the way.
Obvio Valor.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When you get to level 5 in Pokemon Go, you can choose from 3 separate teams to join. And then when you are affiliated with said team, you can then take over gyms for that team to colour the gyms in that team's colour.
Thank you.
It's basically blue, red, and yellow.
And they're
Yeah,
Mystic, Valor, and another one.
Instinct.
Instinct. And I disagree with Valor. It should be Mystic.
These sound like
I've always liked you,
apprentice
Dominoid.
team names.
That's a good point,
Apprentice.
Don't they?
They really do. Alan Sugar would be proud.
Someone
I'm
made
a Brighton fan, so it had to be Mystic.
Someone
An
made a
affinity
point
with
of... No, Mystic is yellow.
Mystic is blue.
No, Mystic is
Instinct
blue.
is yellow.
Is it?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, in fact, I'm Team Yellow then, aren't
Oh my god,
went
you're
really
not even
high-pitched then.
Mystic. Oh, Instinct is worse.
Valor.
That's like
blue,
Hufflepuff.
no red.
I chose Team Yellow because there's literally no Team Yellow gyms around my area, so I thought I might as well represent.
You know it's going to make
It
it
was just
way
a
more
case of-
difficult to get Pocky Coins, though.
It was
Don't
just
really,
easy.
I
Just
don't
a
really
friend of mine
care
said,
about
join the red
free-to-play
ticket. And I was like,
Pokecoins.
okay.
You know, I'm here to catch Pokemon and chew bubblegum. So,
How do you get Pokecoins?
owning gyms.
If you control a gym
You buy them.
for 24 hours, then
that.
you get a stream of them.
But you're
you pay
very,
real life money.
you have to be very, very good to control a gym for 24 hours, considering they're almost
That's
constantly
fair.
attacked.
I'll just use the in-app purchases. I wonder how much
Well, that's
someone
why
has
you need
spent
to
on the
attack
game already.
gyms. That's why you need to attack gyms of your own faction, because then you can leave your Pokemon there to also help defend it.
You know how people like complain about in-app purchases and saying, "Oh, such and such didn't know about in-app purchases and spent $1,000." I'm waiting for the news piece about someone trying to sue Nintendo for Pokemon Go because they spent an obscene amount of money on Pokemon Go.
It is only a matter of time because
It
people
is.
are stupid and give their stupid children phones. So,
Or someone trying to sue them because they got injured trying to catch a Pokemon.
There's
to be
probably
fair,
something in
they've
the
got
terms
a
of service that
giant-
says that they don't have responsibility for things like that.
Yeah. Well, there is a giant warning, isn't there, when you
a
load
warning
it?
message. Look out for your surroundings.
Well, yeah, because you might get eaten.
Exactly.
Have you
No one
seen
wants to get
the?
eaten.
There's a few places that are getting really annoyed with Pokemon. Like one cafe has put up a sign saying "Pokemon are for paying customers only," and one particular police station, which is a Pokestop, has posted out a tweet saying, "Whilst our station is a Pokestop, you don't need to go inside to collect it. So can you please stop coming and standing in our foyer?"
I've just seen a tweet from the LA County Fire Department. Attention! Please do not dial 911 or impact fire stations regarding Pokemon Go. 911 is for emergencies only.
Wow. Okay. It's not as bad as this museum. I'm pretty pissed off.
There's a
Oh,
gym,
no.
That's quite funny.
there's a gym fight happening right now, guys, across the street from me.
All right, we'll see you in a bit then.
Exciting.
You can't just
Exciting.
leave.
No, I'm not participating. I'm just watching.
You're just spectating.
Yeah, I'll let you know who wins. But yeah, I've seen a few tweets like that. But I've also seen places which have said there's a few bars have like jumped on board with it and are doing things like they say every few hours we buy a lure and add them to our Pokestop. So come on in during that time and we serve cheap drinks and things like that.
Some
So,
That
yeah.
actually is a brilliant idea.
some
It's
shops
genius for businesses.
have a sign on the front door saying Team Mystic half price, Team and things like that. This team has half price, this team has full price, and this team has double price.
Oh.
I-
That is That is great, though. I love that.
I think it's cool the businesses are getting in on it. I think it's great. Although I read
It's
something
like
on
Christmas.
Yeah, it is a bit. It's who knows? Who knows how long it will last as well. But I read something on the Pokemon Go subreddit where someone basically put out this theory that because you're not sort of acting alone, you're part of a team that and because what you're doing is essentially creating massive conflict over what is a very arbitrary difference in like just color, essentially, that we're each team is actually just a version of Team Rocket, essentially their own version, and that we're the bad guys. Catching Pokemon
Fan theories already. Jesus.
catching Pokemon and sending them to this mysterious Pokemon professor en masse. What's he doing with them? Turning them into candy? Sounds nefarious to me.
What
That's
do
a
you
fair
when you
point.
send them back to
Wow.
him? What does he do? What's he do to him? And why do
He
you have to
makes
send
pies.
them back?
Don't.
Does he
Candy
make
candy.
pies?
This
I've
is
got a rat that I
horrible.
want to get rid of.
Team Valor protected their gym, by the way. That's the result.
Yes.
To be fair, we are capturing animals, making them fight to their death. So, it's not
They don't
completely
die.
They
altruistic.
just
They don't
faint.
die. They faint.
They
Come
just
on.
faint.
And then when they do, we send them to the professor, and he makes great pies. You do the maths.
What else do people in the Pokemon world eat?
They eat a lot of rice in the anime.
Puffins.
Do they actually eat Pokemon?
I was referencing an Egoraptor cartoon there, and it was a very niche reference to make, but never mind.
Wow.
So they just, is what Ace said, they just eat nothing but rice.
That's what it appears to be.
Don't they have like
rice and
pokey
soy
food?
sauce.
And berries. What about berries?
Ah, yeah, berries as well. You're right.
Thanks, Peace
Oh,
Chat.
that'd be a
Water
depressing
and
moment.
lemonade, Jibby Jib has said. I'm okay with that.
But then again, there is a theory that says like the world of Pokemon is like a post-apocalyptic world, or something like that. And Ash's dad fought in the war. That's why he doesn't have a dad.
Oh yeah, they're recovering from
something
a
like-
destructive war, and that's
Yeah.
like why Lieutenant Surge has Pokemon that surfed with him and things like that.
Yep,
Mm.
exactly.
Ooh, let's get deep. Let's not actually get deep because we can't
Theories.
do the Pokemon for can't do the Pokemon for the entirety of the podcast.
Well, we could,
We
but
almost
it's probably
have.
not a good idea.
There is more Nintendo stuff to go on to.
Half of the pod, not almost half. Dom, calm down.
I saw someone post on Reddit. So, they had the Fallout Pip-Boy, the one you can actually wear, and they had their phone in it,
Oh
and
my
they were
god!
running Pokemon Go on it, and their caption was just said,
so cool.
"Time to go to the wasteland." And I thought that's
Awesome.
quite clever. That's clever.
Oh man, I wish I hadn't sold mine now.
One thing that's been mentioned in the chat, Peace Chan mentioned. So one thing I think it's wonderful that Go does better than a lot of Pokemon games is you get a good sense of scale in AR mode. From a technical standpoint, I agree. It's a very, very good impersonation of AR. Rendition of. Like when a Pokeball drops to the ground, it almost always lands and bounces on what is actually a flat surface.
Not if you're playing it at your laptop like I was. Just Pokeball's bouncing on my keyboard, and then it zooms in on my keyboard, and there's like a massive A letter or something. But it gives you a good sense of scale for the Pokemon themselves as well.
Yeah.
Has anybody sort of like accidentally, well, not so much accidentally, but sort of done something and then realised that it looks weird? Like, I keep catching them on buses, and it's only after I've caught one that I realise it looks like I was videoing that bloke.
I turned off AR mode to save battery, essentially.
Same.
You can turn
Also,
it off.
it's easier.
Yeah, it's a little switch
Oh,
at the top
mate.
right. And also,
Oh,
it's far
Thank
easier to
Christ
catch
for
them.
that. It is.
They don't
Yeah.
move, do they, in AR mode? They just stay in the middle of your screen.
They jump up and down sometimes still, but like they don't.
You literally
like,
just flick the Pokeball
hide.
and you've caught them, essentially.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
good.
don't move left and right.
I'm doing that because it was really annoying because they move around, so you have to keep moving around the screen to try and get them on your phone, and it's very annoying. I was trying to do it. I was getting a lift, and I was trying to do it in the car because I drove past a pub and there was a Squirtle, and I was like, oh shit, I'm getting that Squirtle, and it took like 4 attempts to capture it, but it kept moving around the screen, and I was like, just stop moving for a second, but we couldn't because we were in the middle of the motorway. Well, we'll get up to the roadway.
Safe
Yeah,
driving.
we had the same
Safe
thing.
driving. Yeah, there's going to be a
Has,
lot of problems with people driving around because they're going to start driving around really slowly to try and capture Pokemon, and people are going to think they're suspicious.
I just caught an Eevee.
Drive
Wait,
by
have you
Pokemon
just
Go.
got
Like
it?
literally just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I just saw it. It was on my car. I just sent a picture.
Oh, that's nice.
Aw.
Wait, I didn't realise you had the app.
Yeah, that's why I've been talking about it.
We thought you only
Ah.
had a PlayStation 4 and nothing
Yeah,
else.
I wasn't
What
aware
team
that
am
you had
I
a phone
again?
as
What
well.
name is Team Yellow?
I've only just started. I remember
Instinct.
Instinct.
No,
Instinct have taken the gym across the road from me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, thank you
What-
for that
what
live
Is that
team
why
are
update.
you've
you-
been quiet for a bit?
What level are you, Dom?
I'm a noob still. I'm only level 2.
Oh, and you
Join
have an
Team
Eevee.
Mystic.
I have an Eevee too.
Team
Don't join
Valor.
Team Mystic. Team Valor,
Team
obvious.
Mystic.
Get a
Yeah.
room, guys. Get a room.
So what's the yellow team? Because my
Get a
brothers
room and
have
join
joined
the
yellow
yellow
team.
team.
No,
No.
not Instinct. Oh my god.
Look, shut up.
Is there one called Endeavour? I want to join a team called Endeavour. Like
You can't just make
Yeah, Valor.
Team Summit.
Valor. Valor's other name is Endeavour.
Yeah, because it's shit.
You
Shut up.
liar.
Hey.
Shh, I'm getting him to our side.
Someone
Oh,
who
you're not
wears
on
so
my
much
side.
nylon shouldn't run the risk of their pants catching
Right,
fire.
let's not talk about me and nylon again. Okay?
God, that
Come
was
on.
a childish
Join-
giggle.
Join Instinct because you've got to fight for the underdogs here.
No. That's like
Also,
saying,
yellow's a lovely
I'll
colour.
join Hufflepuff and Harry Potter. Like MZ mentioned earlier.
Thank you.
I don't
Hufflepuff.
know
People in
what that
Hufflepuff are
means.
literally the only nice people in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I've never
Like-
seen
no.
a Harry Potter. I've read one.
All the
I kind of
Gryffindors
feel
are
like I
dicks. All the
understand it.
Slytherins
Luna-
are dicks. All the
Luna
Ravenclaws are dicks.
Lovegood. Luna Lovegood is a Ravenclaw. Boom.
Yeah, but she's mental.
No, she's not. Oh my god, how rude. Right, let's not digress onto Harry Potter.
Now I know how you guys feel when I talk about old games from the 80s.
That's how
Yeah,
everyone
so-
feels when you
Does
talk
that
about old
mean-
games from the 80s. Speaking of old games from the 80s, not quite.
Close
Is it-
enough, though.
Yeah, close
That
enough.
segue.
Nintendo has announced it will be releasing a mini NES for people to play. $60. I don't know what that is in pounds. Is it 50 quid? 40 quid?
About
So it's
120
120
about
quid now.
750
£4.
quid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it comes with a great big fistful of classic games
60
included,
games.
and its
30
own
games.
and its
How many?
own controller,
30.
its own bespoke
I thought it was
controller.
60.
So now
games.
I might actually experience NES games.
Super
I
Mario
thoroughly
Bros.
recommend
1,
it.
2,
There's some-
3.
Yeah, there's some brilliant games on there. And it just looks so cute. But also as well, did you notice if you
Oh,
connect
my
it
bad.
up
There you
to you can connect it to a Wii or a Wii U and access your virtual console games on it with what is an approximation of the original NES controller, which is very nice.
Yeah. Does the NES controller works with the console, the Wii console, doesn't it? Well,
Took
my
the gym, guys. The
finger.
gym is mine. Sorry.
Shush you.
Oh my god!
We're talking NES now.
We now go
Jesus
to Alex
Christ.
live in London. Alex, what's the latest in the gym situation?
Thank you, Dom. I have taken the gym. The
Now
Hypno
over
has
to our
taken the gym.
Pokemon Go correspondent, Alex.
Wait, you've
Endeavour
taken
have
the
taken
gym?
the gym. There'll be just in the boardroom next where Sir Alan Sugar will decide which will be fired.
Using Alan Sugarmon.
Just for a moment, when you tried to do that live broadcast from the gym, you sounded like Peter O'Hanrahan.
Peter Hanrahan. Who
Oh,
the
more
hell is
things
a
we don't know about.
Hanrahan?
Jesus Christ! How can you be a journalist who's never seen bloody Day to Day?
I know who you
Very easily, because I'm a journalist who's never seen Day to Day.
Well,
What's
you
Day
should
to
watch
Day?
the Day to Day.
Yeah,
It
no
was
idea.
a parody news program that Chris Morris did on the BBC late
Have you seen-
90s.
have
It
you
was
seen Brass Eye?
hilarious. Yeah,
Brass
it's
Eye.
it was the forerunner to Brass Eye.
Hmm.
It started Alan Partridge. That's where the character
What's
came
Brass
from originally.
Again, Brass Eye
Brass
is
Eye for the
basically...
queer guy.
No, Brass Eye was a satirical news show which people... It actually fooled a bunch of people
Oh,
as well.
I think my friend
Years
Gary
back.
Durston was into Brass Eye.
I have them all on DVD. At some point, I'm going to lend them to you, and you can watch them all, and you'll understand how hilarious it is.
So back to
Yeah.
this mini
Yes,
mini
so, yes.
console.
Yeah,
Oh
millions.
yes, that one. You were the one that took us off subject, Hamilton.
No, not.
Bloody
I
winning
wasn't talking
gyms.
about random shit that no one cares about.
Oh, Pokemon
Burn.
gyms.
Oh, that wasn't
yeah.
me for once, Dominoid. Just note that down.
Yeah, come on,
Right.
talk about stuff.
So I think it's a very clever idea of Nintendo for doing that. But then they're not the first, because if I remember right, Sega have been doing it for quite some time with
Yes.
the plug and play
They
thing.
they've got a partnership with Blaze, haven't they? And they've got about 4 or 5
Yeah.
different either mini Mega Drives or portable ones. I think they also still make the Mega Drive through Blaze in Brazil, because for some reason the Brazilians love 16-bit machines. But the one thing that would be nice to see, and I'm hoping we'll see a later model, if they go the same way that Sega did, they started off with the one plug and play with so many things, and then you had one where you could add actual cartridges into it, and then they went, we'll just give it an SD card slot so you can download your own ROMs and play on it. So hopefully they'll go the same way. Obviously, we're only going to play ROMs that we've ripped ourselves that we own the original cartridge for.
Yes, because that's what everyone does. You know what, I can't wait, because you know for a fact when this device comes out, because of the size of it, there's going to be someone who's going to mod it, they're going to remove the internals and just build an emulator out of it.
Probably.
And that would look really cool, to be honest with you, because they can keep the controller ports and modify so the controller will work with it. But then they'll be like, right, this will play Game Boy games, this will play N64 games, it's a fully functioning emulator. Take that, Nintendo.
I'm wondering, is it emulating inside, or is it just a miniature version of the NES circuitry? Because if it is, potentially it could be hackable to reverse engineer it back into a working NES. I don't know if you remember the Atari Flashback that came out a few years ago.
No,
The first
no one
model of
remembers
that.
it.
No.
This was like 5 years ago. Come
No.
on.
The thing I
It was
remember,
a-
though,
It was a plug and
is
play.
the Game Boy.
I remember the
No.
PlayStation 4, and I still
No.
don't
Oh,
have
for
one.
God's sake. No, so
No.
All right,
the Atari
let's-
Flashback.
I was going to say... No, sorry.
Yes,
This is
mod.
the bully
Please finish.
dominoid out.
No. Were you saying it's a contraption that you plug in the top of the device and then it would let you play that game? But the reality is that device you're plugging in top essentially had all the internals of that old machine because the machine couldn't use it.
No, the Flashback didn't. The Flashback was literally just the guts of an Atari remade with modern chips. So when people worked this out, they worked out how you could mod the circuitry to add a cartridge slot on it. So you just had a brand new Atari 2600, which is brilliant because the original ones, being so old, are starting to wear out. Potentially, this could be the same for the NES. If it isn't emulated, someone somewhere is going to learn how to mod it to put actual cartridges in. So for those of us that collect physical old NES cartridges, it could be a lifesaver when our NES is finally all die out.
Magic. The one I've seen is there was an attachment for the Super Nintendo SNES 2, I think. And it was basically, it looked like a cartridge and it let you play Game Boy games on it. But because the hardware couldn't actually play Game Boy games, Nintendo just basically put the internals of a Game Boy into a cartridge and just it output itself using the SNES.
That'd be the Super Game Boy. I didn't realise that's what was inside it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what they did.
tempted to crack mine open now and see what's in it.
Yeah, that's what it is, because the system couldn't actually play Game Boy games, so they thought, oh, okay, we'll just make a cartridge, essentially a screenless Game Boy. Magic.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. I've just looked it up on Wikipedia. There's a Super Game Boy 2 where you can see the internal, and it is very clearly just a Game Boy motherboard stuck inside a cartridge.
They're clever.
Maze balls.
Has anyone actually got any interest in this miniature NES?
I think it's a great. I mean, just as an ornament, I'd really like a tiny little NES to go alongside all my retro consoles.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, it's 30 games, which is pretty decent. And there's obviously everyone could go back and play Super Mario, but when it's easier to it's like with emulation, it's easier just to download an emulator onto your phone and play Super Mario on that. So it'd be more seen as, like, if you're a big Nintendo fan, you're going to go out there and go, yeah, I'm getting it because it's a collector's item. It's like you said, it could be an ornament or a doorstop in my side of things.
I think for people who are limited with space and can't fit a CRT in, it's a better way to get it onto a modern TV, because plugging old consoles into new TVs is quite often a ball ache, because a lot of them aren't even coming with an aerial socket nowadays.
That's another thing. When you mentioned with that, this could be Nintendo's answer, because there's this Kickstarter devices like I can't remember the called now. There's one called like the Retro Arc or something like that, and it's a custom made retro machine with HDMI output, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I can finally play my old SNES games." So this could be just Nintendo's cheeky way of saying, "Well, if people are interested in getting those, we'll just make our own, and then you can just play it."
Yeah, and ours actually exists. It's not just a video card duct taped into an old Jaguar shell.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen that the specs for the PS4 Neo have just leaked?
Ooh, I have not
really?
seen that. Like, just
Is this new?
Is this breaking news live here on the GrinCast?
Yeah.
Ah, Enzi, good call.
Breaking news. Oh, okay. And this confidential information. Ooh.
Go ahead then, MZ, take us through it.
Okay, so a leaked document on the PlayStation 4 Neo is now available, and apparently it's got all the specs in it, which Dominoid has just linked in the chat for you guys. And it basically tells us all the exciting specifications of the Neo, which is the next PlayStation 4 console. And I still don't have a PlayStation 4. Someone buy me a PS4.
Uses the same.
Now might be a good time to buy one.
It uses the same processor, but at a higher clock rate, essentially.
I knew that. I suspected that anyway.
Mean.
It goes slightly
come on,
faster.
Dom, you're a console player.
It will go slightly faster.
To dumb it down,
the same
essentially
RAM,
it means the processor's faster,
but a higher
and the RAM
bandwidth.
is faster.
It's basically incremental
No.
increases. It's not massive increases, really.
36.
Faster load times and better graphics, is that what that means in layman's terms?
Not necessarily.
Load times will be the same.
Supposedly.
It's designed for so we've already said Sony of Outlook said that you can't make it better than the current PS4. So you're going to have games that are going to go into for 4K users, and then if you play it on the PS4, then it will sort of still work.
Here's an interesting slide, one down the bottom. It says that some developers have reported that in order to keep the frame rate of the Neo version above that of the original PlayStation 4, the resolution of the display buffer has to be reduced.
Yeah.
So they're having to make changes just to accommodate to make sure that Neo keeps its status as
The better
being
console.
better at higher frame rates.
That graphics chip as well, the 36 CUs, additional power. They've already speculated that the AMD 480, which has just come out, the one that are all saying, "Oh, you can get it for 250 quid," like for VR. That's pretty much on point to the exact same stations. So everyone predicted right, which means it's about 5.5 teraflops of power, which is less than the Scorpio.
It is. It's going to have, by the looks of it, about 4 gig of RAM less than the Scorpio. About half the bandwidth speed in the RAM as well. But the CPUs will be roughly the same. The graphics card will be higher megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all about... Because ultimately, the power doesn't always win. I mean, you look at the original PlayStation 1, the Dreamcast was out at the same time and had probably about twice the power, but was nowhere near as successful.
Oh, it's the PS2. The PS2 was that. The PS2 was the weakest console of all of them. Even the Xbox was way more powerful, but because they had backing of the fact that it was the cheapest DVD player.
That's the point. There's no mention here as to will it support UHD Blu-ray.
They've already said it will be happening.
I think this is the difference here is that these are essentially 1.5s. They're not new consoles.
No, it's the PS4 0.5. They never said it was going to be a because how long the PS4 came out 3 years ago, so it wouldn't surprise me in another 3 years they do another one. and then after those 3 years, because a generation lasts maybe the Xbox 360 generation lasts 10 years, so they'll get a new version, and then the third iteration will be the PS5.
Does
That's how I
Sony
imagine.
Dom have any insider information?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to make heads or tails of what a teraflop is, if I'm honest.
Teraflop
It's
is the
1,000 flops.
Basically,
Sounds
teraflop
like
is the
something-
performance of a graphics card.
Basically, Dom, it'll
Sounds
mean
like
that you can play Assassin's Creed slightly better.
Yes.
Sounds like something you need Viagra for.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
I
But
like
the higher-
it. Great. Stop
it just
rolling
means-
out of bed.
On a serious note, I'm intrigued by it, but I think
Would you
Sony
buy it?
particularly they're gonna be shooting themselves in the
Peak-
foot because they've got such a successful console at the minute with the PlayStation 4.
Performance.
They're outselling Microsoft twofold, so I don't know how they're going to market it and how they're going to sort of not almost shove the middle finger up to the 15 million people that, or however many 30 million people that already have PlayStation 4.
Is it kind of? I suppose it's kind of like they're trying to do the same sort of principle that phone manufacturers use almost. Like Apple release a new device every year, and it's not necessarily a brand new device every year. So you'll have the iPhone 5 and then the iPhone 5S next year, which is just the same thing but a bit tweaked, and then the iPhone 6, which is like the big leap.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That'd be
almost like
essentially
they're
what it-
trying to do the same thing. This is the PS, if you will.
Yeah, this is essentially what it is. This is the generation that we are in. It's happening with graphics cards for years. You know, the NVIDIA released the 1080. You know, last year the 980 came out, and the year before that, you know, we had the 680. Oh, sorry, the 780. So it's just happening. That's what is happening, becoming. Next will probably be modular.
But it's pretty exciting to have breaking news on
Yes,
the LiveCast, people.
that's a well good find. Very
Yeah,
good
you
find.
heard it here first.
Yeah. Boom.
All 7 of you.
You lucky.
Better get writing that
lucky
news
seven.
for the site.
Ugh, it's that news editor. He's really lazy and not doing anything right now. What a dick.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Depends
got
on the
we've got
price as
10
well.
minutes left of the podcast if anyone wants to talk about anything that they've seen this week, because I mean we can talk about the specifications of the PS4 all we
My
want.
brother just sent me a picture. I've got some breaking news for you. He found a gold duck in his living room.
What?
Yep.
What's
Great
what? A
times.
gold duck? I don't know.
Ah.
Which one's that?
Exciting.
It's what
Psyduck
Oh,
Psyduck
that's
evolution.
Psyduck's
evolved
evolution.
into.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, who's the one
Bye.
with spoons? Abra and Kadabra. I haven't caught an Abra yet. I want an Abra.
Notoriously hard to catch.
I want a Wobbuffet as well. Wobbuffet's awesome.
Aren't they only doing the
Boba
first
Fett.
generation?
I know it's the first generation, but I
They
really
are,
like
yeah.
Wobbuffet.
Well, no, they're going to expand,
Yeah,
but this year they're starting with Kanto just because it's the 20th anniversary.
they
Wow,
Team
that's
Valor's
fair.
taking back my gym.
they have
Ha,
entries for
take that.
250 Pokemon, don't they?
Killed my hypno.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh. So saving space for later. Is there a cap to how many Pokemon you can have?
Yes, because there's
Yeah,
an
250.
expansion thing that you can buy as well.
Okay. It's a good job I minced all those random Zobats then. Zubats. What's the overabundance Pokemon in everyone's area? Because here it seems to be Zubat and
Rattata.
Pidgeys.
Rattata.
Zubat
Zubat
and
and
Pidgey.
Pidgey.
About Pidgey,
Just
actually.
Pidgey.
Pidgey,
Bloody
the little
Pidgeys.
bastard.
Bloody Pidgey.
There's loads of
Although,
drowsies
I've-
around London.
I got a little.
Tells you about
see
the
the
London
little
people.
yellow elephant thing
Yeah.
with creepy
Drowsy.
hands.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I got
I've only
one-
seen
I got one of
Drowsy.
them.
two of those ever.
Drowsy. Oh, Drowsy's adorable.
There's
Little
some,
yellow, little
Drowsy
yellow
looks like a
elephant.
rapist.
There's some,
Whoa.
there's some Geodudes flying about outside my house,
What?
but I can't seem to get them.
Geodudes, ah.
They're them
I found
little
a couple
floaty
of
things with no
Jinx.
legs, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like a rock with arms.
Yep, that's the
Yeah.
I
one.
haven't seen
Has
a
anyone got any
Diglett.
good tips for Pokemon Go?
I've
Oh,
got
Look where
one.
you're going.
Go on.
When you're catching the Pokemon, when you hold down the Pokeball, a little circle will slowly get smaller and smaller and smaller. If you throw your Pokeball when the circle is at its widest, it's easiest to catch the Pokemon.
No shit.
Can we also just confirm?
Not everyone realised that.
I knew that.
When you see Pokemon on the map, you walk up to him and then you have to tap on him, and then is that when you go into capture mode?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I must have been glitching out because I was doing it before and then it disappeared.
You don't have to be
Yes.
right next to them either.
No.
Sometimes
And
it
How
takes a
good
little
you've got-
while.
if you've got
Well, you
like
can- if you
a
can see
vibrate on
them
your
on the
phone
map.
as well, the phone will
If you
vibrate
can
when a
see
Pokemon.
them like physically on the map, then you can tap on them and catch them.
Because
It took me.
No, never mind. Because I saw one. It's glitching out on me, man. I'm stressing. There was a Clefairy before as well.
Oh, what?
If you get
Did
it,
anyone
look,
see?
look in the
Sorry,
corner
Dom.
for a... So I'm saying, if you get that, look in the corner for a white spinning Pokeball, which just tells you it's trying to sync with the server again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just got that non-stop.
Yeah, but fun.
Oh, yeah. Did anyone
What's
see
everyone's favourite
that-
Pokemon?
Let Tom speak.
Jesus Christ, people.
No, it was just a funny story. I can't remember where I saw it now. But someone put a Clefairy as the boss of the Westboro Baptist
Westboro.
Church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Mm.
thought
Love
it
is
was
that's
love.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Love
must
is
love
love.
that.
And then they've tried to go against it with a campaign using Jigglypuff,
Oh dear.
Shit,
who is
I like
surely that was,
probably
that was the
a
trainer's
gayer
name, wasn't
character.
it? It's called Love is
Jigglypuff
Love, because you
is
can't
probably
I
the
would
most
imagine they
people
would have
give their
signs
Pokemon.
saying Pokemon is for the Devil's Game or something.
I'm sure they've already done that.
Westboro
Yeah.
Baptist
You're going
Church
to
hates
hell if you
everything.
play
They're bound
Pokemon.
to say that. Tip that I found that it's in the menu, but it doesn't explain what it is. There's the battery saver mode. Has everybody worked out how to use this yet?
I've turned it on, but I haven't noticed any difference.
You
My
don't?
battery still gets drained.
Yep, you won't. What you have to do, and it doesn't tell you this anywhere in the help, I found it online. You turn the battery saver on, and it still operates in the same way if you're holding your phone. If you turn your phone upside down, it will turn the screen off, and it will vibrate when a Pokemon or a Pokestop is nearby to alert you to take your phone back out your pocket.
Oh.
Ah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Clever.
that was my response. Because you turn it on, and I did exactly the same as you did, Cal. I turned it on and went, right, seems to be draining my battery in the same way.
So it's sort of like
How
a
about that?
adaptive screen off.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
clever.
much. So the game's still running in the background, it just doesn't display it and kill your battery.
Wow.
I,
So that's a genuinely good tip.
I read a very, very interesting in-depth article about how to track down Pokemon. If you know when you click in and it tells you the Pokemon that are nearby,
Yeah.
if you go in and you press on the one that you want, then what you do is it will select it, but you want to go back in so that you can see the lines of how many. So for example, if you've got 9 Pokemon nearby and they've all got different amount of leaves on them, and it will still highlight the one that you're after, but it will show you the 9 in the rows. And going from kind of left to right, snaking down, is how close they are to you. So if you start walking in one direction and the Pokemon that you're after moves down the list, then you're going the wrong way. So you do a 180 and walk in the other direction, which means that it will get closer. And you can use that as kind of like a compass to get closer. And once you're at one leaf, it should be like fairly close to you. So you shouldn't need to walk very far at all to be able to find it, which is the easiest way to track Pokemon. It was really, really in-depth, but a great article.
I
That's
thought they
brilliant.
were paw prints.
Yeah, they're paw prints, not leaves.
Are they?
Oh, were
I
they? I thought they were leaves. I thought leaves too.
Has everyone
How
did they
downloaded
on their side?
their local map in Google Maps?
I have, yes.
If you download
But that's a
if you
good
download
tip.
the offline map from Google Maps of your area, then Pokemon Go will use that map data instead of downloading new map data, so it won't drain your battery
Interesting.
or use up your data.
I didn't know that.
It is
I
very
suppose it makes
handy.
sense. It works from Google Maps because it's just based on Ingress. Question on the Twitch chat from Jibby Jib. Oh, what's everyone's favourite Pokemon?
Also asked by Hamilton
asked-
about
I
5
asked
minutes
that.
ago before we...
Oh, I
That
didn't
was
spot
Cal.
that. Sorry.
That was
was
me.
it Cal? Sorry, Cal.
Don't confuse me, please. It's awful.
Oh, wow.
See, mine.
Sassy Cal.
Is it Clefairy that puts people to sleep and draws on their faces in
Jigglypuff.
In the cartoon?
Jigglypuff.
That's Jigglypuff. So yeah, that's mine then. Just purely because that's the kind of thing that I do.
Scyther.
Basically being a dick.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, because
Scyther.
everyone's drawn on their face's friend when they're drunk, right?
Scyther all day long.
Ditto. 100%.
Oh, you also like
Love
What,
Ditto.
you also like Cypher?
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
No. Ditto. Shut up.
It's either
Ditto is
Scyther
the
or
best
Gyarados.
Pokemon.
I'm gonna say Psyduck because he's just Psy.
Because he's always got a headache.
Yeah.
Ace and Dom were waiting for you guys.
I already said Blaziken.
The best Pokemon is
Okay.
Charizard. Hands
Yes.
down. No competition.
Obviously Charizard, but Psyduck's cool. Because I like.
Yeah.
I remember in the cartoon they kept trying to tell him to do stuff, and he was like Psy, and he's like, it's like do something, and it's like no, he's not.
Or no, in fact,
But he's secretly he's like the Jar Jar
Snorlax.
of Pokemon.
Snorlax is
Oh,
awesome.
Snorlax is amazing.
Snorlax.
Snorlax is the best.
I
Other
think
than
Snorlax
Ditto.
is the homie.
Did I mention the Snorlax pillow, I think, in a previous podcast? You can get a giant Snorlax. It's basically like a beanbag that you can sit on.
I need that.
It's like
Isn't
200
almost
quid, but
Yeah,
it's
it's like about the
amazing.
size of what it looks like if it was real.
Amazing.
Here's another thing I've just read online on the Mirror. Pokemon Go declared forbidden and un-Islamic in Egypt.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wait, actually, that's probably a bad
Alright,
response.
that's a
But
wrap up, Ali.
that wasn't what I meant to do. But seriously, what? Why? How is a computer game against a religion?
Because apparently the religious
Idolatry.
leaders are comparing it to the effects of alcohol. Although,
Oh, well,
interesting
that makes
enough,
sense.
years ago, Egypt actually banned the game when the game originally came out. Because
Compared
they,
it to alcohol, is that staring down at your phone and not knowing where you're walking?
yeah, pretty much. That's what I do.
Walking into ponds, making friends with strangers. Yeah, sounds about right.
To be fair, we have all been fighting about Team Valor, Team Mystic, or Team Instinct. So essentially, we're having
Team
a big
Endeavour.
fight about whose invisible person is the best, which is pretty much the tenet of most religions, right?
Another reason behind it, saying that it's going to be banned, is because they banned it back in 2001, the whole Pokemon franchise, saying it was allegedly promoting Charles Darwin's controversial theory of evolution.
Amazing.
Let's
know.
not get into religious chatter, shall we?
So
I like how
is
it's
the
a
game
controversial.
Evolve also banned?
Yes, probably.
Look, if you go into these religious issues with Pokemon, there's loads of stuff. Like
Oh, God,
even
yeah.
to summarize it, because let's not just stereotype Islam here. Christianity's done exactly the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So has Judaism.
Religion has
Also,
all had its hand
the
in it.
anime has been criticized for its perceived amount of Nazi imagery. So there you go.
Also,
Nazi imagery.
the
What?
yin yang symbol that was on all Pokemon cards when they first came out is like seen as something really dodgy in the Christian community, so it was like seen as something really bad.
And as Dom,
So
Really?
and as
I
Dom
did not
mentioned
know.
earlier, the Pokemon Jinx is essentially blackface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's been also a lot of them say it's like promoting Satanism and the Satanists.
Satanism,
Satanism. Yeah. Gotta love them.
that one.
There was, I remember right, I think it was a Pokemon or something in Pokemon where going what Alex said with the Nazism is it wasn't the Nazi symbol, but people misconcept what the Nazi logo looks like, but it was actually the Hindu one for peace because it's the other way around.
The
That's
the,
it, yeah.
the swastika's
Yeah.
only Nazi if it's diagonal. If it's straight,
It's
then it's the symbol for peace.
It's diagonally and it's also reversed. So the
Yeah.
axis shape is pointing left and downwards, while the peace symbol is sort of centered
Yeah.
and going from the
The
right.
P symbol should go anti-clockwise, I think, and technically should have dots.
Yes, it has
I,
dots in it.
It's slightly off topic, but I saw a fantastic thing post Brexit with all of the horrendous hate crimes that have been going around. Somebody had sprayed "Go home" on some Polish guy's door and followed it up with a swastika the wrong way round, which sends a very mixed message.
I quite like that. add into that graffiti and just put in available now on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's clever.
on
That's
that bombshell, we come to the end of the streamcast and the end of the podcast. If you are listening to it, audio-ly, I don't know, but you're missing out. So you should definitely check out our next Twitch livecast, which is It's the second week of every month. So make sure you're there. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's watched us on Twitch and contributed in the chat. And thanks to the people who joined me on the podcast, Ace, Cal, Dom, Dominoid, MZ, and myself, obviously, your host, Hamiltonius. Now I'm going to go through the whole rigmarole, so turn yourself off if you've heard this all before, but you can find the GrinCast at Twitter at GrinCast, and also on GameGrin.com, where our podcasts are posted up, and also on iTunes. Just search for the GrinCast. You can also find GameGrin, as said before, at GameGrin.com, or you can find it on Facebook or YouTube, just search GameGrin. And the GrinCast will now actually be posted up on YouTube as often as we can, usually every Friday, so you can catch us on there as well. As well as GameGrin, you can check out Game On magazines, which do lovely little magazines for multiple games throughout the industry, and also a film and TV mag. But yeah, we've come to the end. But we'll be back next week in a purely audio form. So until next time, game on.